still am, really. Sorry.
High drama in Stuttgart. Graham Poll at the centre of it. He's been dishing out cards like confetti. And as you see that, it's been ruled as a second yellow card for Josip Simjanic. He should have been off a few minutes ago. It's actually his third. Nightmare for Graham Poll. The English referee hasn't covered himself in glory.
When you came off the pitch, were you told instantly you'd made a big mistake?
No, and that's what made it harder. We left the field completely unaware of what had happened.
A quite unbelievable game, it really was. It had everything, goalkeeping errors, refereeing errors to the point of which I've never seen before.
I remember trying to ring him after the game, just kept trying and trying until I got through. And when I spoke to him, I can't remember what my first words were, but at the time I spoke to him, he was completely unaware of the whole mix-up.
So I went away and our massage room was next door to have a massage. Obviously it was the second big game in 3 days. And it was only towards the end of the massage when the referee liaison guy came in the room and said, "You better come back, there's a problem."
Did you know that he made the mistake? Yeah. And I appreciate you talking, yes. And it's difficult.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did, and I phoned to Julia straight away, and from then on we had hours of texts and phone calls.
The DVD was put in. There was no remote control for the DVD, and so for the first 15 minutes we watched players warming up before the start of the match, still in disbelief. But as time passed, even though we weren't seeing the incidents we needed to, we started to think we must be wrong. And as that dawned over us, you just started to feel lower and lower and lower.
I was gutted for him. I could feel his pain with him, and I was really upset and gutted for him.
You sent him a text, didn't you?
Yeah, straight after the match I sent him a text.
Just basically said, "I'm sorry, Dad, they're saying you got it wrong, but you never do. So I'm sure you'll be right, but if you're wrong, we love you anyway." That was what she sent me, and that's a 12-year-old. You look at that and think, it doesn't matter. Football. And that's what brings you back 2, 3, 4 days later, is that love and support. You think, it is only football.
Nightmare for Graham Poll. The English referee hasn't covered himself in glory.
When you actually put it in perspective and you read a newspaper from the front to the back page, all right, Graham splashed across the back page, but the front page, I mean, you know, there's awful things happening all the time. And I think you do forget that sometimes. Football is just a game. I mean, I know it's a huge business and all the rest of it, but it is just a game, and he just made a mistake.
After Colchester, Graham took charge of matches at Arsenal, Fulham and a couple of UEFA Cup ties. Then it was the Merseyside derby, Everton against Liverpool. Big match, big atmosphere. So how is he feeling now about refereeing?
The truth of the matter is, whilst I've not been enthused in the build-up or a couple of games in Europe, in the journey there and the preparation for the game, once I've gone over the white line to referee, I've refereed very well, to my satisfaction and to the assessor's satisfaction, to the player's satisfaction. And, you know, David Moyes on Saturday was very much, "Well done, Graham, we're glad you're carrying on." And it was heartfelt. You could tell it wasn't in order to gain a 3-0 win, obviously. I'm still got to get through a major incident.
Will there be a major incident at some time in the coming weeks and months?
It has to happen.
But it did, and the incident couldn't have been bigger. Poll sent off England captain John Terry in the London derby between Spurs and Chelsea.
And Terry and King square up to each other, England colleagues. Graham Poll is not going to leave it there, and neither is Chimbonda, who wants a piece of John Terry. Lampard's trying to get in the way and calm it down. And Graham Poll has a problem on here. Well, there are 5 players out there who already have yellow cards, and there's a red card for John Terry.
I don't understand, but Mr. Poll now goes home, enjoy a good dinner with his family, and tomorrow is another day for him, and we lost the game, and he doesn't have to give his face to explain a few decisions.
Criticised by Chelsea players on the back pages, Ashley Cole had claimed that Pohl had said, "Your team need to be taught a lesson." Terry claimed that Pohl had given him 2 different reasons for sending him off.
Why Ashley Cole's had to come out and make certain claims, why John Terry's had to come out and say certain things, I don't understand. I really don't understand, and I'm left very disappointed with the situation because, as I say, the season started well and suddenly everything then is dragged up in the media that Graham Poll is a controversial referee, Graham Poll is of course the blunder referee from the World Cup. That is grossly unfair, and what makes it even more unfair is I am not permitted to speak in the media.
So you made a mistake?
I make mistakes. I do make mistakes. I don't think that I was wrong in that action at the time. I mean, I converse with John Terry on the field of play. I have done for years. I know, I mean, I was rebuked by a manager recently because his players told him I was calling John Terry JT, and he thought that was over-familiar, and I had to agree with him. The thing that grates more than anything in this is I will make mistakes. If I was wrong to send off John Terry, then I was wrong. That was a genuine mistake. The implication behind all this is that I went out with an agenda before that match to teach Chelsea a lesson, to show them some discipline. That is implying I'm not impartial, and that's what hurts more than anything.
Because it's been a controversial season up until last Sunday, did you think for one moment, did you think to yourself, I won't send Terry off because it's all been going smoothly and I know if I do, straight away I'll become the centre of attention. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Did you think of that for a split second?
No, and if you do, then you fail. I have to give decisions as I see them as correct. I understand the ramifications of them, of course I do.